Earthlings. I'm an Earthling too. Welcome to Adjust Your Shorts, the little show where we kick you in the dick with the news. So hike 'em up. I missed Tuesday. I was out of town visiting Austin, checking out the comedy scene there, which was very fun. It was a great time. Went to the Kill Tony show and signed up. Well, didn't go to the show, but signed up. Did not get called. I was really hoping to get called, obviously, but I think everybody who goes is really trying to get called up. But I did do some comedy at Red Band's Club, the Sunset Strip, at a really bad open mic there. But the scene is amazing. Boy, we're seriously considering, the lovely Melody Gates and I are seriously considering relocating to Austin. Looks like probably at the beginning of the year, end of this year, beginning of next year. But before all of that, we've got some news to cover. What time is it? You know what time it is. It's time to get into it. So, right away, let's check out the briefing. Today's briefing, Thursday, April 24th. First off, it's 67 degrees in Cave Creek, Arizona. It is supposed to be 83 today, which is beautiful springtime weather. And supposed to get cooler all through the week and finally heat up into the 90s next week. But we'll see. I mean, everything changes. This is pretty funny. 14-foot transformer towers over Cave Creek intersection. When we got back into town last night, we saw people taking pictures of the Bumblebee transformer, which is hanging out outside of a new giant knick-knack shop on the corner. It used to be a CVS, and now they're going to be selling like rocks and transformers, I guess. 4 new restaurants announced for former Paradise Valley Mall. Okay, that's fine. But this one is hilarious. Somebody mailed animal poop to the county attorney's home. I mean, that's just good old-fashioned fun. All right, the top stories in Google's opinion today are: Trump calls on Putin to stop Russian strikes on the Ukraine. I mean, he just keeps doing that. Trump is not happy with Putin for attacks on Kiev amid tense ceasefire negotiations. Oh, negotiations, you say? Yeah, that's how we say it. I mean, they're just not stopping. China says there were no negotiations with the U.S. over tariffs, and the U.S. is backing off. China calls on Trump to cancel tariffs, and stocks stall on China calls reports of U.S. tariffs are baseless. What? Okay. Stocks stall as China calls reports of U.S. tariff talks baseless. I see. Tourist massacre in Kashmir is escalating tensions between Iran and Pakistan. And then Trump says it's been harder to deal with Zelensky than Russia. So that's what Google will say, and here's what I found. Here we go. ABC News: hidden magma cap discovered at Yellowstone National Park. I mean, we knew that there are magma caps. We just, I guess, are discovering new ones. I saw this. Geoscientists have discovered magma cap at Yellowstone National Park is likely playing a critical role in preventing a massive eruption in one of the largest active volcanic systems in the world. And the way that they found it was the scientists parked a 53,000-pound vibrosis truck, a device capable of injecting low-frequency vibrations into the earth to study the geology of the volcanic system. I mean, this sounds kind of crazy, because if I know that there's a potential volcanic eruption and that there's something holding it back, what I wouldn't do is vibrate the surface. What I wouldn't do is just shake it a bunch and just to see. We just gotta see what's under there. How thick is it? And you know what? Let's just be okay with not knowing. I mean, next, what are we gonna do? Drill through it? Should we frack it and see what happens? Come on, guys. We don't shake the lava, okay? Let's see. Trump administration live updates. President calls on Putin to stop Russian strikes on Ukraine. Says he's not happy with the latest Russian strikes, but he says it's been harder to deal with Zelensky than Putin. What are you fucking talking about? Putin is not doing what you ask. So it is clearly that Putin is the one that is harder to deal with. Now, maybe Putin is nice. He's being nicer because Vladimir Zelensky is not nice. He's not nice. Yeah, it seems like Putin is just bombing away, and he is just going to keep bombing away until he's done bombing away. Let's just, I mean, either let him do it or get involved, but quit talking about it. I mean, nothing is getting done. So, a lot of arguments about that. All right, on to Reuters. China pushes for tariff cancellation to end the U.S. trade war. I saw in the news yesterday that Trump has said they're not going to be that high. A lot of people are talking about the 145% tariffs. Well, technically, you were the one talking about those tariffs. It was you. So a lot of people are saying things. But then he said they're not going to be that high, nowhere near that high. And China has moved zero. They've moved zero on the playing field. So what really happened? Was this all about mining the ocean floor? Is that all that was going on? Is while we were all talking about the tariffs and worried that they were just moving forward with the deep sea mining, which we talked about on a previous episode? China, here's a summary. China denies holding trade talks with the U.S. Trump administration considers lowering tariffs on Chinese goods, and China urges the U.S. to heed international and domestic voices, calling for all unilateral U.S. tariffs to be canceled on Thursday as signs emerge that the Trump administration may de-escalate its trade war with Beijing. Also clarified that it has held no trade talks with Washington, despite repeated comments from the U.S. government suggesting that there had been engagement. I mean, this just sounds like the U.S., maybe the Trump administration was actually trying to get trade to balance out somewhat, but I mean, they just don't buy anything from us. We buy all from them. The game is we want to incentivize them to sell to us for lower prices so that we can have nice things for less. We're the major consumer of the world. So, I mean, it's probably not going to go the way that Trump was saying it's going to go, and maybe that wasn't even the point. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? Pope Francis' doctor says that the pontiff died without suffering at home. The guy was sick for a few weeks. I did come up with a joke, and if you're Catholic, you're not going to like it, but I'm going to tell it anyway. And I got it read at the bottom of the barrel show at the mothership 2 nights ago. I said, I just prayed that the Pope makes it through one more Easter. And he did by one day. But I like that they're saying that he died of a stroke. And it's like, God, he had double pneumonia, was sick for like a month. I mean, he was dying. So, great, he died of a stroke. Do we have to identify everything? Can we just let an old guy die and not have to like pick apart how he died? And, Okay, moving on. NPR. This one I love. TikTok showed me this. Google News doesn't think this is important. So obviously Google doesn't know me very well, because this is the coolest thing I have seen it's the coolest thing I've seen. RFK plans to phase out synthetic food dyes. Now, this says could face industry pushback. Don't let them push it back, RFK. Oh my God, there is no reason to put petroleum product in our foods. That's what this is. It is petroleum product. The only way you get colors like that is not natural. You get it by making stuff synthetically, adding a bunch of crazy chemicals. I mean, this is the coolest thing that I have seen. I love the fact that he quietly has been in there working at doing what he said he was going to do, which is trying to make us healthy again. I had a long discussion with a buddy of mine yesterday over beers, which is ridiculous. We're not supposed to talk politics, but he's very liberal, and he's 23. So honestly, I mean, what I know about myself at 23 versus myself now at 46 or 45 is that your opinions change. When you're young, you have hard opinions and you say things, I hate XYZ. But as you live a bit, you learn that, the wheels turn slowly, and that the things that you have opinions about, those opinions are often formed prematurely and without all of the information, because we just don't get the information until years down the road. And then you go, oh, my opinions may have been wrong about XYZ. And we were talking about the vaccines. Last week we talked about the spike in vaccines. I really think that what you have to do is identify the spike, find out where the big spike in autism was. I mean, of course, testing is different now. So maybe they just didn't test for it before, and the spectrum is bigger now, so they include way more people. But 1 in 10,000 versus 1 in 36, I think is worth looking into and seeing if there was a spike and see if it's associated with a vaccine. And also, I only had the handful of vaccines when I was a kid, and quite frankly, I'm good. I mean, my body is strong. I just don't think we have to be pumping our children full of pharmaceutical liquids at such a young age. Instead of hit them with some stuff that measles, mumps, rubella, the basics, and then let's let their immune systems grow naturally the way that nature always does. All right, here we go. BBC K-pop singer Brian of Just Be comes out during a U.S. concert. I just want to zoom in on this guy's face. Was there any question? That's all. All right. This week's all-female Blue Origin mission has garnered attention, but not for the right reasons, it says. Katy Perry went to space with a bunch of, with an all-female cast. I mean, the message was supposed to be of female empowerment. How is it female empowerment? You just took a ride on a man's spaceship. You didn't even push any buttons or do anything. You took a flower up in space. You talked about how it compares to your daughter, and then you rode back down, and then you got out and kissed the ground. You're up there for 11 minutes, and it's this profound, earth-shattering thing. I want to see it too. I want to go up and then come back down. But you know what I feel? I think I know exactly how she feels. My girlfriend and I took a Waymo. So we got out of the Waymo. Melody kissed the ground. We called it women's empowerment because now, I at that moment, I identified as a woman. Now I'm back to being a man. So it's pretty much the exact same thing. Yeah, I just think it's hilarious that, so you sent a bunch of women up there and then they came back down, but they didn't do anything. They just looked at it and got emotional. All right, moving on. NPR. Oh, yeah. Hegseth in hot water again over sharing attack plans. But this time it may be worse. I love that. Okay. Sometimes you can judge a book by its cover. Now, this guy right here, I would never trust him. If I just saw him on the street, he looks like a Batman supervillain before going through the change. And his wife just looks so thrilled. But they're trying to downplay his new Signal chat leak. And dude, you're an idiot. He just looks like a fucking frat bro. And I think we need to replace him. You can't leak war plans twice in a month and keep your fucking job. You just don't get to do it. All right, and into the good news. This is fun. On this day in history, 35 years ago, the Hubble telescope was launched into low Earth orbit. Very cool. 35 years is, it's so relatively recent, and it's quite a long time to be taking pictures of space. Sweltering Athens finally plants thousands of trees and renovates iconic Acropolis Hill with greenery. Fine. NIH to work with food companies to get harmful synthetic food dyes approved for decades out of U.S. grocery stores. It's funny, you had to go to the Good News Network to find this as a top headline. That is really insane to me. Chicago bicycle refurbishers pedal good to the world for 26 years with 150,000 bikes saved from landfills. New kind of antibiotic is the first in 30 years to treat UTIs that keep coming back. That was pretty cool. I guess because the UTI antibiotics are becoming resilient to treatment. And then this was very fun. Man revives iconic Indian lake by converting lake weed infestation into organic fertilizer. That's how you do it, folks. If you got like some crazy seaweed, sawweed, whatever they call these things in your lake, you pull it out and you decompose it and you use it for fertilizer. This is genius. Scientists define a new color never seen before by human eyes. Also, you still can't see it with your human eyes. So what are we talking about here? All right. And, this one was crazy. Old reformatory prison turned into sunny new apartment complex called Liberty after a $64 million injection. Who wants to live here? Whoa. Maybe there's a couple ghosts in there, huh? Look where you can live. That better be fucking cheap. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right. Well, that's been the news. You can go ahead and pull your shorts back down to their normal levels. Consider yourselves kicked in the dick. My name's Ray Stone, and we will see you next week. Bye.